Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I'm reviewing Duke Nukem 1 Remastered on the Evercade. It initially came out in 1991 on DOS, the original Duke Nukem. It is a platforming, shoot 'em up kind of game. You find keys, you find hidden doors, you progress to the next level, that kind of thing. I'm going to go over the same 5 categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay slash story, replayability, then fun factor. Give each category a score from 1 to 10, average it up, and then talk about the game a little bit. So we'll start with graphics. I thought the graphics were really good, especially for a game of this age, this era. This remastered version is really good compared to the old version. There, you can press select at any time and switch back to the old graphics, which is really neat. And I'll show that a few times in this video. So graphics, I'm going to give an 8. I think the character models look really good. The environments, for the most part, look really good. The enemies look awesome. There's a few enemies that look like the like big robots from RoboCop, which is really funny. The explosions look cool. It runs at like a solid 60 frames per second. The older version, I think, runs at 30, so half that. It's super noticeable, but it looks great. The only critique I have is some of the foregrounds and backgrounds can get kind of confusing at first. You can't really tell sometimes if it's a wall or a hole that you're gonna fall in, if that makes sense. So graphics, I give an 8. Performance, flawless performance. Not one problem, no crashes, nothing like that, no glitches even. It worked great. So that's an easy 10. The next category is gonna be gameplay slash story. So we'll start with the weaker of the two. I always combine gameplay and story because one of those two needs to be good for it to be a good game, in my opinion. So story is going to be the weaker of the two. It's told in like text form with a few sprites, which I'll show, or not sprites, just a few images of Duke Nukem and the enemy, and that's it. You kind of read about what's going on. It does what it needs to do for a platforming game. But the gameplay is really tight. It's great platforming. It's challenging at times. The enemies can be tough. I like the level design. It's really cool. You're like finding keys, trying to unlock new areas, that kind of thing. You unlock new abilities. There's like a bunch of different items you can use that help like traverse new parts of the world. Really cool game, especially for the time. So I'm going to give gameplay slash story an 8. The next category is going to be replayability. This is going to be the lowest category. So there are 3 episodes, and I'll show footage from the first 2. I'll let you get to episode 3 on your own. But in each episode, there's 10 different levels. On howlongtobeat.com, it said it takes around 5 hours. It probably took me like 6.5. It always takes me longer. But when I got done with all 3 episodes, I went back in to get some footage, and it showed that I had 60-something% on the first 2 episodes and 83, I think, percent on the last episode. On each level, I think you can find D-U-K-E, Duke, the letters, just like in like Donkey Kong or something. And I only found those on a few. There's hidden rooms. There's like secrets. So you can go through this game 2, maybe 3 times to try to 100% the game. After that, unless you're super nostalgic for this game, you're probably going to be kind of done with it. But luckily, there's like 4 or 5 Duke Nukem games on the Evercade, and I think I own all of them. There's Duke Nukem Collection 1 and Duke Nukem Collection 2. This collection, I think, comes with 3. It comes with 1, 2, and then Duke Nukem 3D. Don't quote me. But anyway, replayability, I'm going to give a 5, just because it probably has 3 playthroughs, unless you're super nostalgic, so a 5. The last category is going to be fun factor. I had a really good time with this game. It's definitely not like my favorite platforming game of all time. You can tell it's an older game, but I had a pretty good time with it, and I would recommend it to someone who has the Evercade. I played it on the Mini Pocket, Mega Pocket. Anyway, watch my Evercade collection video. I think it's called the Super Mega Pocket, something like that. And even on that small screen, I had a lot of fun and was able to complete the game. I can't wait to like put this on the bigger screen in the Evercade Versus and see how much easier it plays and how much better it looks on a bigger screen. But overall, I had a good time with the game. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it, and I'm going to give fun factor a 7. So So just to recap, I gave graphics an 8, performance a 10, gameplay/story an 8, replayability a 5, fun factor a 7. That averages it out to a 7.6 out of 10. Fun game. I'm glad I played it. It's definitely not perfect, and it's not for everybody. But if you like retro titles, you like platforming games, shooting enemies, dodging bullets, that kind of thing, finding secrets, I think you would like this game. And that's really all I've got for Duke Nukem. The next game I'm going to play is probably going to be from Pico Interactive Collection 1, maybe? I don't know. There's a lot to choose from. But that's all I got for Duke Nukem 1 Remastered.